Hey guys, crankycaz here.
And thesherbster.
And we are here with a reaction to The Last of Us Part 1 rebuilt for PS5 trailer. It's going to feature some gameplay, and I've got this on pre-order, and I'm going to play it on the channel. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed, go watch Sherbs' playthrough. We've already played through Part 1, the remastered version of that, and The Last of Us Part 2. But Sherbs is desperate to backseat on my playthroughs of the game. So yeah, we're going to do that. But for now, let's just get into this trailer and see what they've got for us.
Let's go for it.
A lot of people have been saying this is a cash grab. I want to see what's going to be new. I think it's worth the money because I love the game. So.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
More than 2 years ago, when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
Because of course, yeah, Part 2 was PS4, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an
3?
open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from. The 4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames, help us to reimagine The Last of Us.
Wow, okay. Yeah, because the original
It gave us
was
opportunities
PS3.
to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity.
Oh,
Wow. The other characters more detailed. I mean, down to the irises and the
changing
pupils
some of the
that,
environments and how they
fall
look
into
as
the
well.
eyes of the characters.
Or is it
Aside
just the
from that,
lighting?
the facial
I think there are
animation
some
is just
differences.
way
I think in one of the ones they showed there were
all the
actually leaves on the
nuances,
trees,
all the
whereas the
little
original
subtle
didn't.
reactions, glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it
Ugh,
almost
David.
closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue. Like glue. Like glue. Got it. Good. Good.
We are able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions and emotional scripting.
Pretty good, huh?
Our stories happen
It
in
looks
gameplay.
pretty fucking
stick.
good, doesn't
It
it?
does.
All this stuff is designed
saw an
to keep
article
you
saying, oh,
constantly in this world.
It doesn't make that much difference. The remastered's fine.
got this,
I think there's
go.
a big difference. And it's not cutscenes, it's in-game,
Yeah.
like...
One of the
That's just what they were saying
things
as well,
that
wasn't it?
PlayStation 5 is really enabling is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like this has
I
always
remember
been
you going
the
crazy in
dream
that
is to
school.
have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. Just makes the world feel rich.
Yeah, I
makes
just
it feel lived in.
rewatched that scene just recently.
Materials can have
And that
the
looks so
properties that
different.
you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Oh,
Seeing
Jesus,
things
yeah.
break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range
bloody
of
bloater.
gameplay to play with.
Around him!
Our AI tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2's AI. And it has sophisticated systems for things like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more sophisticated.
Oh, brilliant. So they're going to be smarter.
Communicating with each other, how they're
Great.
chasing you, how they're flanking you.
Enjoy.
how intense
They need
that
to play
fight
on easy.
feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Oh, the sniper
Oh,
bit,
the
yeah.
sniper
One of the
section.
other big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure,
So
we
cool
have
seeing all
future
this
exposure.
development.
Yeah.
So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy scene.
Oh yeah, because didn't we
This
have
really
times
lets
in
the
Last
buddies
of
make
Us...
very complex decisions and
I'm
maintain
sure we had
that,
times
that
in Last of
feeling
Us Part
stealth
2
much
where
more
you're
believably.
ally was like
In view.
spotted.
Another
Yeah.
big enhancement to the gameplay
Didn't they have
is
dialogue
that
for
we
when they got
have
spotted?
this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds of animations. A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move.
Wow.
And then it's basically every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where
It's
the
so
character's
clever.
going to go.
And people
And
whinge
this
about
motion
why would
model
games take so long to
gives
make.
really
This is why.
seamless
It's
sense of
so
transition. Player's
involved.
movement is just a lot
Oh God, I'm not looking
cleaner,
forward to playing
just
this bit.
really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had to build that core experience. And then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for.
Photo mode?
For example, we now have a permadeath mode.
Oh God.
Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see how fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added
Oh,
a
that's
bunch
cool.
more of
That is cool.
unlockables. So there's all these
Oh,
different
nice.
outfits for Ellie and Joel.
That's
that people can
kind of
unlock.
my
Model
thing,
viewer
not the
mode,
speed
so
running.
people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has
Wow.
audio description built into the game,
Nice.
built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
Fair
That's really
play.
the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
So much of the identity of The Last of
Can't
Us
wait
is
to
the
play
world.
this.
We revamped completely the art direction. You know, everything from these expansive vistas
yeah.
that not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more visceral
I
way.
don't remember that
The
church in The
rooftops
Last of Us. Was that in
overlooking the
Billstown?
Capitol building,
I don't
for
remember the
example.
church
Just
either,
The
I'll be
breath of
perfectly
fresh
honest.
air when you go up there and you just like.
Would you see it
feel
with
that
Tess?
sort of
Guys, I can't
release
remember when we saw
and
that in the
tension.
first game.
And then
It
you
might
know,
be
to
Bill's
juxtapose
area.
that down in
Something
the
is sort of ringing a bell,
tunnels
but it might not be
wilds, and you get that
completely true.
dank, flooded tunnel feel, that humidity. You can actually feel it. All these environments are just completely reimagined.
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio.
So that's
the fast
interesting,
loading.
because I feel
it
like
really
the
creates a much more
PS4
immersive, and because of that, much
fogginess
more
looked
emotional
kind of
experience.
spooky.
One of the things I absolutely
Really?
love
Because you
with
can see
the
less.
audio in The
I
Last of Us
must
Part 1
admit, I
is
do like
being able to
less
hear an
fogginess.
enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do
Feels more
a stalker
real.
fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun.
Unless it's
You're
actually a
hearing
foggy
them
area. if that
skitter
makes sense.
around in a different room, and you're hearing them trying to get it behind you.
Oh, so there's like directional sound, so you can.
Having that two-part reaction of like hearing, turning, seeing, reacting, it
Yeah,
just
okay.
really heightens that sense of just being grounded. You are in this character. You are in this world.
Ah!
Get off.
Oh, there's so many bits I'm
With
just
the PlayStation
terrified
5,
to play
the
now.
amount of control that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool. All the guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them. The way it
Nice.
works with the bow is that at the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance. And then as
that's
the bow gets
cool.
tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger. When you are aiming and firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun.
But the recoil,
And
yeah.
what's much
cool.
more sophisticated
Well, the
about that
pump
on the
bit was
DualSense.
you
Yeah,
reload it,
sorry,
yeah.
not the recoil.
In effect, has a little like speaker in it, and it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations, and those two beats is what you're going to feel on the controller.
This looks like a good spot.
This also
That's really
ties
cool.
in
I didn't
Yeah.
realise
to
it was done that
the
way with like the
workbench
audio
animations.
files. And the...
So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're going to get that haptic feedback on that.
Nice.
We have, haptics all across the board, for all the moments you kind of expect, for clambering, jumping, landing, meleeing, getting meleeed, like all those kind of high intensity moments we have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really like quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe. To me, that's the essence of The Last of Us. It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. It's you're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story in as many ways as we can. And that's what the new technology on the PlayStation 5 is allowing.
Was that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out.
There's something special about that core experience of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey. Then to take that experience and really honor it and keep the authenticity of it, but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's a technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better. That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
Well, I'm sold. I mean, so I know people have been like, oh, it's just a cash grab. Why do we need it? I think they've just summed up pretty well there why it is worth buying.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it definitely feels like they're improving it, and like they were saying there, you know, they were limited by the technology at the time because it was PS3 when it first came out, and yeah, the remaster made it onto PS4, but that was just a remaster. Whereas they've actually redone a lot of this sort of stuff, remade a lot of this stuff.
Everything
so
looks
it's going to be a
better.
new, and the haptic feedback part.
The haptic
really
feedback's
cool.
going to be nice. It's just going to feel like with all the glass flying around and like, you know, especially the sound. I think the sound is a big one. Like, if you can hear an enemy and you're like vaguely working out where it is, and then like, I feel like it's going to be a lot more immersive combat. And I mean, it was pretty awesome anyway. I mean, how did you feel in terms of like the combat between Last of Us 1 and 2? Like, did it seem like a big step up? Do you remember?
I don't remember a big step up in some ways. I mean, there's a lot of familiarity with it in the way I found it, but it felt... I'm trying to think now, because obviously it's been a little while, but it definitely felt like it was improved.
It seemed a lot more visceral in Last of Us Part 2. And I suppose you had a lot more of the sort of close combat with like the individual enemies and things. I was just wondering whether it seemed like the AI was noticeably more intelligent, or kind of worried about that, because if I'm going to be playing it, I need it to be thicker, not smarter. But anyway,
it'll be amusing.
It'll be fun. I still haven't decided whether we stream or record it. I think maybe stream it.
Yep.
I'm losing my voice. So I think we'll wrap it up. But guys, are you excited for Last of Us Part 1?
That's the silliest question ever. Of course they are.
Have you got a PS5 yet? Or are you still salty about not having one? Let us know in the comments. And please, if you haven't subscribed and Last of Us is your thing, stick around on our channel, because I'll be playing this for sure. Might do a playthrough of Last of Us Part 2. And we hope to react to the HBO series when that gets released. I think that's going to be 2023. But we definitely want to watch that together with you guys. So stick around. Till then, bye.
See ya.